Hello everyone, this is gonna be my offlane Vengeful Spirit guide. So I'll be talking about the general gist of the hero, and then I'll be talking about the starting items, laning, the aim of the hero, and some tips and tricks about the hero. So to start off, for Facet, you normally want to take Soul Strike because as a core Venge, this is gonna let you trade the best, and it makes the attack animation a lot smoother. I have no idea when to take Avenging Missile because I've never taken it before. Soul Strike just seems better. The hero is a universal hero as well, so for every stats you get 0.7% in damage. 0.7 point in damage. Now I'm gonna talk about the item builds. For the starting item builds, there'll be two starting item builds. The first one, which is more general, would be going two circlet, one gauntlet, and three wood branch. You go this build because it actually gives you the best overall stats. If you do need an early tangle, you could buy it early from your courier. If you're playing against like very spammy heroes that the enemy has. Or you could just ask your support to give you a tango, which would help a lot because that would allow you to send Bracer into a tango. Or you could just send a tango straight. You could normally send a tango straight once your team has gotten the runes. Yeah, like 2 bounty runes, you send 1 tango, and then you send like 1 or 1.5 bracer. Because you do want to build into like 2 bracer, magic stick, and threads. This would be the basic item build. And for the second item build, that would be when you're playing against heroes like Weaver, Bat Rider, Bracerback, anything that would spam spells at you, you want to get Magic Stick, 3 Ironwood Branch, 1 Tangelo, and circle it. And the follow-up item, you could actually get a Magic Wand if you want, that's fine. And then like 1 Bracer. You could skip the second Bracer if you think you could skip it and go straight into threads, that would be fine too. But I normally recommend getting the 2 braces just so that you could actually play the lane better. The amount of braces you get is actually based on how much you actually think you would need to survive in the lane. 2 is optimal, 3 might be a little bit too much because you would have to sell one of them. The follow-up items that you would want to get is Axe, and it's almost always Axe, it's just too valuable as an item. First you want to get Blades of Alacrity, just so that you could last hit and farm better, and then you want to get Ogre X all point booster, just for more HP, and Staff of Wizardry the last. I would recommend getting Shot, if you can after, because it's a really good shot. For late game item build, I would recommend getting, you could consider Dragonlance into Hurricane Pipe, if you're playing against heroes like Ursa, Clockwork, Slug. It's just a really good item. Especially for Universal Hero, where you're gonna gain damage from all the stats that you're gonna get, right? 15 intel, 20 agility, and 20 strength. The other item I would recommend would be Manta. It helps you, dispel stuff and get out of situations, and you could do a lot of shenanigans with the illusions. Octarian is one item I recommend too, but you would have to know in which situation to get it. It's kinda hard for me to suggest, as it helps with lowering all the cooldowns, and normally when you get Octarian, you're going to be playing around your Magic Missile more and Nether Swap, so you definitely want to get Shard if you're going Octarian, like early Shard into Octarian. And after that, you could consider items like Dagger if you want, right? Dagger into Swap. You can always get into a good position for a swap. You could always save your teammates as well. For like really late game builds, Butterfly would be decent. I would actually say there's a lot of item builds you can get based on, depending on what you need. BKB is always good if you need. It really depends on what you need in the game. If you're playing against like heavy physical damage, you can get Assault Curious, that's fine too. Oh, Kanda is really good, just in case I forget, as your spells are all single target, so you actually just deal quite a lot of damage if you get Kanda. You kind of want to prioritize a stats item, just to, as a reminder, since you're gonna get like damage from stats anyway. Moving on, I'm gonna be talking about laning. You almost always want to get Wave of Terror level 1, as it's like the best spell, right? Like you could just like use it to last hit like this. Okay, I missed, but I'll refresh again. Yeah, like this. And it helps you trade best in the lane. A good way of using your Wave of Terror would be when your support, post 4 is trading with the enemy support, you always want to terror the enemy like support hero and the core hero if you can. That way your support is gonna win the trade and win you the lane, right? Laning or winning the lane is about swapping your regen and having more regen than the enemy. Also just remember, like, when you're using Wave of Terror, you will push out the lane because you're reducing all the armor of the creeps. So that's something that you can keep in mind. Like if you're playing the lane where you're a little bit weaker, you could just wave the enemy and the creep wave and push out the wave. That way, once you get to level 2, you can have stun and Wave of Terror. And there's not a lot of heroes in the game that could stand against Avenge with these two spells. The only time I would recommend getting Magic Missile level 1 is when you actually can secure First Blood. Other than that, I don't think it's ever worth it. If you could actually secure First Blood with Wave of Terror, that's even better.
Yes.
So that's actually it for laning. Right, now I'm gonna talk about the kind of like the aim of the hero, the core build, and the whole shenanigans, or like the whole thing about offlane Venge is to get your X at a very good timing. Because it's pretty much like getting a permanent Aegis once you have an X. I would recommend you farming and focusing on the lane. Or like playing safe if you have to and just like staying in the lane and farming till you get your X. Try not to destroy your game by TPing around the map, because sometimes there's like juicy moments where you think you might TP and like if your teammates are shouting help, 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 and you TP down and you find yourself like dying with your teammate. Don't do that. Try to get your X within like a reasonable timing. I think 10 to 15 minutes would be good. And once you get your X, that's when you want to be aggressive on the map, running at the enemy, and actually just like being in their face. For spell build, I would recommend kind of like, if you're level 4, 2 levels on Magic Missile, 2 levels on Wave. If you can find yourself playing more aggressively, sometimes it's okay to get level 4 Magic Missile first and just be like in the face of the enemy, right? But if you find yourself to be farming more, you would consider getting like a higher wave, like level Wave of Terror before your Magic Missile. And always remember to have level 1 in Vengeful, like Vengeance Aura, around level 9 or 10, just so that your axe would actually work. If you don't have the passive, you will just die, even if you have axe. After that, you want to learn Nether Swap, and for talents, I would always recommend the 150 Nether Swap damage. It's pretty good. I like the Wave of Terror armor, but I think 0.3 seconds Magic Missile stun could be really good sometimes. Wave of Terror is almost always better than -2 seconds Magic Missile, unless you're going the Octarine build. And for level 25, I think that's really up to you, right? It's just a preference. But if you actually go Octarine, I would say like the Nether Swap cooldown is better, just so they can really like abuse the swap, right? It's like swap, 9 seconds cooldown, swap again, perma shield. So for tips and tricks of the heroes, one thing that you always need to take note of is as a Venge, once you get your X, you're gonna have 4 lives, right? You die once, you become a spirit, right? If you're about to die on a spirit, you can buy out, right? Be alive again, and you're gonna die again, you're gonna be a spirit again. So that's effectively 4 life. The other thing to take note would be that your spells actually refresh when you die, right? As a spirit. Okay, I'm gonna stun. Right, it's on cooldown, right? Bam, it's up again. So it works for all the spells. So you could actually double swap, right? Swap on cooldown. Swap is up again. Swap. The other thing I would like to talk about would be Nether Swap usage. It's kind of important to talk about this spell, right? If you can actually swap a hero in and win the game, I think you should almost always do it as a core Venge. But it's very important to communicate out to your team on what you want to do with the swap. Because a lot of times if you're sieging the high ground, like if your teammate is sieging the high ground, like they're sieging and you see a chance, you swap, and they go on your carry straight, and they die, you're gonna lose the game. And I've lost a lot of games like this. So that's something that you kind of want to communicate to your teammate, whether you're using like swap offensively or defensively. I would almost recommend always using it offensively, Unless, you know, you can actually win the game like swapping defensively, then that's when you should communicate out to your teammate and not be tempted by temptations, right? Sometimes it's like a guy that you're like, oh man, I can swap him, but don't do it, right? If the idea is to actually just siege, swap defensively, win the game. Just remember, like, you know, it's fine to die when you're on Venge with Axe. I think that's really about it for the guide. So do let me know in the comment section below if there's anything I could work on or improve. And yeah, thanks for watching.